We are live. Welcome back to Swords of Verlis, Chapter 3. We were just having a conversation about how these new glasses make it look like I do not have eyes, which is kind of, I don't know. Maybe I like the look, maybe I don't. I think I like having eyes. Oh well, whatever. We'll work with it.
I mean, having eyes is always a good thing. You kind of need them for, sight.
Right. Last session, where we left off, was fairly interesting. We left off at a point where you had just ended combat and interrogated a Jormungandr soldier who was, for as far as you know, simply following orders, but had made the fatal mistake of flipping sides too easily, deciding that he was a loose end that you could not deal with having around. You decided to end him. Brutally so, with Lark revealing her deception just as the last light left his eyes, and his last words being, "Motherfucker." So, party, as you head back towards this source of respite, this location between Snowlove and Chechers, this place that you have now come to know as the Temple of the Eye of Sylvanas, or Seed of Sylvanas, really. What would you like to do?
Oh. Memory serves me right. After we had interrogated the lad, we were supposed to reconvene at the temple, essentially.
You were supposed to head back to the hill, to the temple, and then from there, whatever may come, you were to head to Chechers.
Cool. So I think Dane kind of just looks at the body of the boy, offers a small prayer, and then kind of
You
just
said
look
you
at everyone
would
like
take
a-
him for
alright.
feed for your warg, is what you've done with the body, by the way.
Well, it wastes good meat.
That he is.
Yeah.
Dane would look at everyone and go, "Alright then. So, our business. Head back to the tree people then."
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep.
As you return to the tree people, you do see Gregor, the one that had assisted you the most, is standing close to the entrance, just looking at you, nodding. Heads in. Do you follow him?
Yeah.
Seems like he's stood outside waiting for you to approach, and now that you're there, gets further in. The one that was unconscious on a bed, I actually misspoke last week. His name is actually Bren, B-R-E-N. I don't know why I read it wrongly, but yeah. So, Bren is now awake, seems to have gotten the gist of what has happened from his comrades. Steps up, comes with you. I hear you helped my people. I hear you helped my god.
Say that.
Well, did you wish for anything in return? Did you have any reward in mind? It's not common for strangers to help strangers with no personal stake in the matter. And from what I understand, my companions do not seem to understand your stake, at least not fully.
Sorry, Dane will just look at Ulysses and Lark and say, "Oh, thing we got in mind."
I mean, we
Like-
did it for.
The whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, we did it for our own selfish reasons, helping them. It wasn't really for their benefit.
Yeah,
But
well,
so that, yeah.
I don't have been, but we did do a good turn by these people, and it seems like they want to reward us, so we'll be to deny that.
All right. What you got to offer?
Well, I do wish to reward you, as is my honor decrees. But before that conversation, I would like to know what your stake in it was. You offered aid in our most needed moment. You came forth and dealt with the threat quite handedly, I might add, and seemed to be, if I dare say, very motivated through it all. One might say I'm curious.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't these people already know Lark is wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
They should
guy.
know.
So
I just woke up. Yeah.
yeah, this is the guy that just
Okay,
woke up
fair
and
enough.
hasn't gotten much of the
Yeah.
story from everyone. And
Okay.
also, they know you're wanted, but they don't know the full story. They just know that you have beef with Jormungandr, but like he seems a bit more insightful. He's like, it seems like there's a bigger reason why you were helping.
I also have told them that she is the rightful heir of the throne.
Have you? No, I think you
We
told that
told
to the.
Someone.
No, that was someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Sure.
that was the guy that you interrogated and killed. I
I'm
think.
I'm almost positive that when we're saying, you should treat Lark with a bit of respect, you're speaking to, because we don't know
Oh,
it's the
you told
rightful
the
heir
old
of the
lady.
The
throne.
gnome. Or
Yeah, you
the
told
gnome,
her no.
yeah.
You told her no. Yeah, well, she forgot because I forgot, so she forgot.
Perfect.
And
I forgot,
it's in
forgot.
character because she is as dumb as a pile of bricks. So
Great.
also it's
Yeah.
he. I don't know why I keep saying she. It's a he. All right, sorry. Keep going.
Yeah. And we'll kind of just look at this and, how much have your companions told you?
Enough.
Why were you?
You've got a bounty on you. He like nods towards Luck. You kind of looks at Ulysses. You look familiar. No idea who the hell you are, and you all had beef with our enemy. And am I to understand they were Jormungandr?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, you had beef with the
Yes.
Jormungandrs, but what's the motivation to defend this place?
Your seed, as you call it. We don't want the Jormungandrs to have it either. We don't really want to be alerted or alert them of our location. And if they got that, they would know where we were.
Anonymity, then, or
Mhm.
secrecy? Well, actually, that fate is quite curious at times. Well, if that is what you seek, that is what you shall get. He kind of like raises his hand. One of the spearmen comes forward. He speaks in hushed tones. Seems like while the gnome is more of their spiritual leader, this person, Bren, seems to be their military leader at some sort. They are a very small group, but looking at Bren, you can see he's probably the most capable of this bunch. A few whispers. The spearman runs out and says, "Your reward will be here in but a moment. I'm sure you will find some use for it. And especially if you are seeking anonymity, I think it is on the nose." While later, the spearman comes out, is holding a large tray. On the tray are 3 little pouches, and then there's one wooden box, locked box. Pouches contain a small, well, not entirely small amount of coin, which I hope will do you well on your journey. But the main reward that I wish to give you is this. Takes the box and hands it to Lark.
Lark will open the box.
Inside you see a quite ornate chain that seems to be made not of a precious metal but of steel, but it is ornate. And then at the center there is a small, about like this size locket, so like about an eye-sized locket that seems to be made of silver and steel wire that has been twined together in a wreath that almost seems like a laurel wreath. And in the center lies a single onyx gem, which is quite large, and you would assume it's fairly hefty. That is an amulet of proof against location. It will serve you well.
Nice.
Useful, thank you.
Please do take the pouches. Do not insult me by counting the coin within them here.
And we'll just take the pouch and put it on his hip.
Do you require anything else on your journey? I'm not going to inquire where you're headed, but I assume you're headed elsewhere.
Right, well, you got some holy men with you. Go ahead.
Well, and he kind of taps his mace that he has. It's less of a mace and more of a really large club, except that it's got a mace head. It's a two-handed weapon that is on his it's kind of holstered to his hip, but it's comically massive where the head is like next to his right thigh and the handle extends far past his left shoulder. It's across his back, and it goes, I am a paladin, yes? I assume you are as well?
Yep.
Do you wish for me to absolve you of any sin?
Oh no, it's just you got holy people, so that means you've got some magical powers. You can keep in contact with us. If you see any more Jormungandr, man, I guess, but see any more Jormungandr patrols or any more of these folks trying to take this seed of yours, keep us updated. Yeah.
I cannot promise that because our entire location is a secret, and oops, it's probably best to tell you this, but honestly, even saying it is a bit of a wasted effort. But your memories of this place might not be as clear as they are now when you leave. There is a ward protecting this place. Not entirely sure how these Jormungandr forces came to find it based on the existence of this ward, but they have. So, communicating with you, I will not promise that I can send you a message because the existence of this ward makes communication complicated, to say the least. However, I can promise you that I will try.
Alright.
Other than that, and there's anything else you can offer us in aid? A long trip ahead of us and a big goal to reach.
We have food and water. You may take what you wish. We have plenty. Sylvanus provides. But beyond that, there's nothing much of value here. The value is intrinsic in the location itself.
Can you take a look at something for me?
Yes.
Oh no, it's at the cart. Never mind.
What is it? I can walk out with you.
The metal piece that was in the bird.
Do you grab it?
I said I threw it in the cart, but yeah.
No, I mean you can go and grab it and come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I'll go do that.
Bring it back.
Okay. He reaches out to touch it. He does. Almost immediately a frown comes over his face. I wish I could tell you what this is. I don't know, but I know the material. Nothing else quite feels like it. Kind of grabs your hand, Lark, and runs it over like one of the sides of this. It does look like a spoke, right? I think I told you that has been pulled out. Runs your hands across one of the sides, and it's almost like perfectly smooth until a certain point where there are ridges, almost like braille, except that where braille is dots, this is in lines, smooth lines that have been etched into the surface. He goes, this is a common trait of a crystal that doesn't originate here. It originates in the Shadowfell. This crystal is known as Kyrgyzstan. I'm gonna type it out in chat so you guys know what I'm talking
Awesome.
I do not know what this implement is, but I would not trifle with it if I were you. And he hands it back to you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for you then? Well, if not, take your fill of our food and water. And when you do leave, be sure not to lose your bearing of the sun. Leave on sunlight and keep mind to keep the direction of the sun constant in your departure from this area. That way you will not get lost through the forest or on the road.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very well then. I do need to retire to see to my wounds and to my people. Sincerely, I thank you. Sylvanus guide you.
Very
He
much.
retreats away. You notice he has a slight limp, not entirely healed yet. Seems to have taken a thrashing. So, buddy, what would you like to do?
So it's... time is it currently outside?
Yeah.
Well, it's for you guys it's morning because you guys assaulted the camp like early morning, and then after that, I would say midday.
I think Dane would kind of just go around and have a conversation with the individuals that helped us in the battle, as well
Sure.
as the centaur lady. Chat
Sure.
with her.
Which one specifically would you like to go to first?
Probably just the spearmen first. We didn't get their names, but yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get the names. Three of them are just sitting around polishing their armor, sharpening their spears. They look up as you approach, but they don't say anything.
Man, well, I want to say thank you for your work that you did. You
Thank
fulfilled
you.
your orders with distinction and with a family manner. You were able to wipe out that force with 0 losses and minimal injuries thanks to your cooperation. So I appreciate that.
One of them kind of chimes up. You've not seen any of their faces, by the way, at this point. At least I don't think. Have I revealed any of their faces? No,
I think
right?
so.
Okay. Yeah, so you've not seen any of their faces, and you haven't really heard their voices as much either. One of the back, slightly scrawny one goes, "Thank you. It's an honor to have shared a battlefield with you. I'm not entirely sure who you are, but you carry yourself with the air of a seasoned veteran."
Do these people sound young?
Yeah.
What are you boys?
Kind of look at each other sheepishly, don't answer.
Oh no? Shared a battlefield together? Nothing like age is gonna sully your honor or anything like that?
It's not that I don't want to tell you, I'm not entirely sure.
Right?
I think I'm 15, and then the other one like kind of bumps him. Don't lie, you're barely 13. I mean, I think I'm 15. I could be 15. How do you know I'm not 15? Because, well, you're not older than me, and I think I'm 13. You know, they're kind of like just pushing each other around.
Your children.
He kind of kneels down to these boys.
They are tall. I will say that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
God, do not tell him.
Neil. Yeah. So he'll look at them then and says, "And how did you boys get yourself into the protectors of a sacred artifact then?"
Well, it's different for each one of us, really. The one who was originally talking, the one that said he was 15, but then the other one called him out, say he was 13, is... Well, I had nothing. I don't know where I came from, my parents. I was in Snillov, really. I ran away from a guard once into the forest. Almost starved to death. Bren over there found me and took me in, and been here since. Yeah, other two give you fairly similar stories. Two of them are from Snillov and one is from Hozerolz.
Oh. We'll say, in your age, you fought like you were seasoned soldiers. So that only heightens the accomplishment.
Thank you. I mean,
Well done, boys.
We just follow what Brent tells us, which is run at him and put the pointy end in front.
So, always fighting with soldiers. Boys. But I guess I was too quick to judge. Not a bad thing, though. Good to know that the youth nowadays are getting into the fray of things.
What's
Yeah.
what's the fray of things? Like they whisper to each other. They're not entirely sure what the fray of things are. At this point, one of them takes his helmet off to polish it, and you do see how best to describe this. Do you play Halo? Yeah, do you ever see Forward Unto Dawn, the movie-ish?
Are you saying that these are essentially like larger heads and bald?
Yeah, they are bald. They look like children, but their bodies seem to be like that of a young adult. Like
Right.
like on the face you can see there's a distinct level of neoteny there, but they definitely seem to have been spruced up quite a little bit, spruced up.
Yes.
By the way, it's a bit hard to hear you, Luke. You cut in
That's
and
right.
out.
Yeah. Boys, well, it was an honor fighting with you, and Neville, bless you on your bowels.
Sylvanus, bless you.
Ahead. Yeah. I think Dane will then kind of just give each of them like a slight nod, and then he'll go over to the gnome cleric.
Yes. How can I help you?
I just wanted to say, appreciate your assistance in the fight, and well, that was what I was originally going to say, and then I've got some question about your boys there.
Yeah, the spearmen. What do you want to ask about them?
Oh, I was saying you're using child soldiers. Interesting. How'd you get them like that?
Well, we didn't do that to them. And also, they're not child soldiers. We don't really dictate what anybody does here in this group. And kind of like pulls you like off to the side. Yes. We don't age.
Alright.
Those boys have been here a long, long time. Just put that in perspective. Sylvanus chooses his wardens very carefully, and everybody's here for a reason. Never bothered to question because he's never given us a reason to question.
Interesting.
They're probably older than you.
And tad terrifying.
Yeah, you get used to it. I did.
Alright. Oh. Thanks again for the assistance in combat.
Of course.
And may Oliver bless you.
Sylvanus bless you. I'm sure you've heard that 1,000 times already. That being said, you don't have a lot of light left. If you're going to head out today, you should do it now.
Yeah. And the round's gonna say goodbye to your centaur one, and then I'll go way out with my companions.
Of course.
Then head over to the centaur.
Okay. She's nursing some of her wounds. I mean, you guys know she was like basically on the verge of being dead. But she looks up at you. Hey, I see you come to say goodbye.
Yeah. Moment.
Right.
I
Well,
want to say.
you first. I don't mean to step on you.
Yeah. I just appreciate you making us wise to the machinations of the Jormungandrs. Got that seed of yours, we'd been in a right lot of trouble. So, thank you.
Well, if you didn't find me, I'd be in a much different situation. So thank you. Thank you for turning around and helping.
Don't mention it.
Alright, on your way then.
Aye.
Yeah.
And make his way back to Ulysses and Mark.
Fair enough.
Ready to go?
Alright. So party, as you guys depart from this area, how are you guys heading on your journey? Are you heading due east back onto the main road, or are you going to be heading south through the forest to Chechers?
Follow the sun. They told us.
No,
Yeah.
he said keep this. He said whichever direction you're going, make sure the sun stays in the direction, stays in the bearing that it is. He basically said keep your bearing. Like use the.
Can you
sun
just
as a
remind me
compass.
roughly where we are on the map?
Okay.
Like kind of
Right.
between the E and the V in Verlis, right?
Yeah.
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 V and Verlis? Okay.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
here around there. Like it's at the tip of the V, between that and the E. Like, let me just draw
Right.
something.
Well, first
there.
we need to head back to the forest and get our cart.
Yeah.
Hit it.
We can
So
get our stuff.
so head back,
Okay.
the cart, tie up one of the horses, and we'll from there get back onto the road.
Okay.
Mhm.
Seems like the smartest thing.
Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. I didn't realize the cart wasn't with you guys. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to show that. Well, we'll say
We're
it was
trying
on you.
to say that.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
what I
realize
asked.
that.
I'm like, I can just go grab it.
You know what? We'll say it was in your backpack. It's fine.
Fair enough.
It was in your backpack. Alright.
I just forgot until right at the moment they were leaving. Oh wait, now the cart. We hit the cart so we can get here quicker.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, the cart's like right outside the hill. It's like, no, they decided to sprint. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Fighters.
Do you have a horse now?
I do have a horse now.
Good.
Oh goddamn time!
Yeah, on level up, I took Find Steed.
All right, then.
Because some
God.
people out of game pestered me to.
All right. All three of you go ahead and roll me a survival check to see how quickly or how accurately you navigate yourselves back to your cart.
14.
18.
13.
1, 3.
3.
It's fairly quickly. You manage to get back to your cart. However, by the time you reach your cart, it is nighttime. You did not lose your bearing. However, by the time that you get to your cart, you have no recollection of where the hill is. You remember this incident. You remember everything that happened, but you don't know where. You don't even know where the Jormungandr camp was. It's all left your memory at this point.
That's a bit nifty there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well,
just be setting up camp then, and then now first flight tomorrow.
same plan as it was a day ago.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get an injured centaur coming here, unless the Jormungandr will steal some ancient god's artifact.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Alright. Take first watch. Who's up next?
Yeah. Is it you?
I don't know. Yeah, think keeping track of whatever order we wanted to do this in. I'll go next.
Okay. And Lurk will go after Yule then, but night should be over by then.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for this because nothing's happening, so you guys can go ahead and take a long rest.
Yay!
Yay.
And you awaken in the morning with more energy. It is somewhat dawn, and this time there is no centaur around to distract you from your journey.
Great.
And
have
then
to
let's sorry, go ahead.
We gotta get the cart out of the bramble. We stuck it.
Car out of the bramble.
Easy enough
Yeah.
to do. I mean, it takes an hour to do, but it's easy enough to do. It's just tedious.
And also we put back in the piece we removed.
Yeah,
Yeah, the axle rod or something like that.
yeah, the axle.
Yeah.
I didn't forget that. And
We
a good thing you
have to
didn't.
leave. Oh no.
our axle, no.
All right,
So shove that back in, and then whose horse are we tying to the cart?
I do believe we should use mine.
Because
Alright.
mine looks like a murder wolf, and Lark's looks like an edgy fucking unicorn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna post the picture of mine
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Can we see all their artwork?
Where has it gone? There it is. Okay, there's the picture of mine.
So it's a fully white horse with a flame orange mane, a flame orange tail, and flame orange tufts on the chin, kind of like a goatee, and on each hoof. Totally
The horse
not
has got a goatee.
conspicuous at all.
It is the
Oh.
least conspicuous of the three, is the
Lux
thing
is
about it.
also not conspicuous in this light.
Isn't yours like a freaking like jet black, edgy looking?
Oh, it's edgy as hell, but no.
There's fucking a damn R3 Suburban, a damn
Yeah.
murder wolf, and an edgy horse.
Yeah.
Your horse with that
Mhm.
mane, it looks like it's about to drop the next sick new dubstep and call it Bangarang.
Yeah. Crazy. The best horse. I'd
And-
like to say I edited Yule's. It was a unicorn.
Was just the stock unicorn artwork from the Monster Manual.
I know. Alright, anyway. You guys get Yule's horse to pull the cart. With a single horse, it does go a bit slower, but it is more efficient that way. And it takes you a couple hours to return to sort of where you were at the crossroads before you diverged because of a particularly devastating avian attack. So, party, as you approach the crossroads, are you going to continue on your journey to Chechers?
Yes.
Okay. So I want a perception check from whoever is going to be helming this cart. I'm assuming it's going to be Ulysses, given that it's your horse in the reins.
Yeah.
Okay, roll me a perception check to see what you see.
Perception 3, so that is a 18.
You rolled a 3 and you got an 18.
No, my plus is a 3.
Okay, I was like, how do you have a plus 15?
No,
How can I
rolled a
kill
15,
you right now?
My
Sorry.
plus is a 3.
Alright.
Same exact thought. Just wait, what?
I already had like a cliff in the middle of the freaking thing just pop up with rocks just teetering on the edge, and I'm like, rocks fault. Alright, yeah, sorry. Alright, so you do notice that there do appear to be a few more travelers along this road than you would previously predict. You see more hoof tracks, you see more cart tracks where wheels have passed, and curiously you see a large number of footprints around you, and in front of you you see sort of a set of two palisades staggered on either side, seemingly to funnel in the traffic from both sides of the road into a single, for the lack of a better term, checkpoint. What would you like to do? And it is a manned checkpoint. You see some people there.
And
How far away is
I'm-
it?
It is about at this point you can see it half a mile away because you're going downhill and it's a ways away, so you can see it, but you're fairly sure they can see you too coming down this road.
Lark's
And
gonna
what-
take off her armor. Because everyone we've met so far has pointed out that it's super obvious.
Does Dane armor look incredibly Jormungandr-ish?
No, you lived in Periphery. It is designed for medium temperate weather, and so is Ulysses' armor is fine. Lark's armor, however, is definitely very Jormungandr.
Yeah, takes that off, I'll hide it under the bear skin that we have. And then
Yep, throw a robe over you.
I was already wearing a cloak, but
Close
Well,
for a reason.
probably, slight subtle changes to Lark's face and hair and things. But
To make her look not change.
not changeling and not quite Lark. That is what her goal is.
Fair enough. Roll me a flat charisma check. See how well you do.
Okay.
I'll let you choose between charisma and dexterity.
Charisma versus charisma. That will be a math. 23.
Fair enough. So, how are you guys going to approach this checkpoint?
Oh, I was cutting in and out there. Does this look a Jormungandr checkpoint, or is this...
Make a perception check.
Verlis
It's too far for you to say for sure, but you can try and make a perception check to identify
Stated
the
that they're
guards.
essentially at war at this
Sorry,
point.
perception, not persuasion.
Okay.
19.
19.
Let's see.
Okay, well, really quickly, let me mark where this checkpoint is. I'm marking it right there with the purple.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
It's between like two different territories or whatever, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Lark rolled a 6. I see nothing.
You don't see cold armor because it's in such a point that's been hit in the nail so many times, right? Like the first thing in Jormungandr, look for cold weather armor. You don't see cold weather armor, but from this distance you can't quite tell any other identifying features. But you are fairly sure you don't see cold weather armor.
Mhm.
I think he would begin approaching, but he would definitely slow the cart down slightly to give us a bit of extra time.
Fair enough.
It looked suspicious, and he'd kind of just lean back into the cart and say, "What are we gonna do? We go in, let him check us, or do we gun it?"
As you get closer, because of the fact that it's fairly open terrain between here and there, and they have seen you, you do see one of the attendants for this checkpoint pull out 2 flags, kind of similar to naval flag patterns, except that it's not naval flag patterns. They seem to have different patterns on the flags than what you would use for naval flags, and it seems to be giving you a signal. Dane, you can roll me a history check. Ulysses as well, either one of you, to try and understand this. Lark, you would not, with your background and backstory, you wouldn't have any way of knowing what this is. So Ulysses and Dane, roll me a history check to see if you can understand
18.
what they're trying to communicate. Dane is 18, Ulysses?
16.
16. Okay, Ulysses is a bit hard for you. Dane, you don't get the full meaning, but you do recognize this as a form of like communication that people use over long distances that is non-magical, and specifically in Verlis, it is a form of enforcement communication, like regal enforcement, law enforcement, stuff like that. And specifically, it's hard to get the meaning, but you get the gist of it. Is slow down and approach, and probably not be violent.
Cool. Well, I was already slowing down, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
A question, is this a technique that Jormungandr uses as well, or is this a strictly Verlis thing?
No, Jormungandr is interesting because Jormungandr is a much older society than Verlis is, and there is, in the military aspect anyway, there's a lot more magic involved in how they communicate and stuff like that. So something this mundane wouldn't really be seen in Jormungandr.
Okay.
Like, people might have sending stones in Jormungandr.
Yeah.
Here.
I think Dane would be cautious, but he definitely more confident that we're not going to get immediately jumped. So he'll comply. He'll slow the cart down, and he'll just slowly walk or drive up with the cart.
You get closer and closer, and you see a comforting sight. You see the slightly tanned skin of someone who has spent more time in the sun. You see a less fat built on top of a very sturdy, muscular build, leading you to believe this is not someone who spent a lot of time in the cold. Then you come up, and you do see, finally, easing your heart, you see the crest of Verlis on the armor of the person who's approaching you. Oh there! Where are you coming from? Hello, I'm waiting for an answer, so preferably this year.
Let's go to crash the room. He's like, wait,
Oh.
what did you say?
Ho there, where are you coming from?
Well,
Also, I described that it's definitely not Jormungandr, it's a Verlisian god.
listen, cool. So we came from Lozerk, right?
Yeah.
Loz Elk.
So,
Lozok.
yes.
Lozelk. Coming from Lozelk.
Coming from Lozok, and what's your business south of the Majan line?
Traveling to get to Chechers.
Chechers?
That's the
You
one.
pronounce that really funny. You're not from around here.
I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not. No.
Where are you from then?
Up north.
Up north. Are we talking Jormungandr?
I might say that, yeah.
I like just nods very slowly. Do you know what's been happening here?
Fortunately, I do. Chickens me to the stomach. From the military a bit. Deserve this.
Then you'll understand if I ask you to move your cart over there and we search it a bit more thoroughly for our ease of heart. You seem to be cooperating. We'll be respectful, but I hope you understand if we have to search you a bit more thoroughly.
Fine.
Come over here. Kind of asks you guys to move over to the side.
I will move to the side.
Okay. This steed is oddly flamboyant. Whose is it?
Points to Ulysses.
Okay, well, just keep it satiated for now. Go ahead and leave your weapons in the cart for now. Just stand outside. You don't need to be detained. Just don't do anything foolish. And kind of
Looks up
gestures
Lark.
over for two guards to come over and start searching the cart. And one of more higher ranked officer also begins searching the cart. So the three of them go inside while the three of you are outside and begin rummaging around. You hear like drawers being opened, you hear chests being opened, you hear floorboards being knocked on and stuff like that. In the meantime, the guy who stopped you, well, can I have a name and destiny? Well, you said Chechers. What's the purpose of your visit?
Supposed to meet some people.
What for?
Sort of hired for a gig. Must meet him there.
And is this gig in nature military? Like sizes you up, sees the armor you've got on?
Traditionally, no.
Not traditionally. You're being very vague.
I was could have in the contract not to discuss.
Sergeant! And you hear like one of the guys inside the cart like opens up and he is holding Lark's armor that was under the bed. It's the same armor they were using. Soldiers down south. As the guy turns around, I'm hoping you could explain that.
Yeah, well, Jormungandr. F Jormungandr. Didn't necessarily have the money to buy new armor.
You've been cooperative, very much so, but I'm sorry, you really haven't given me a reason to work with you on this, and I'm not sure I can really let you. And as he's like having this conversation with you, suddenly you hear a large commotion in your cart. There's three of them that were in there. Suddenly, like, seem to have dropped everything. They back out of the cart, like hands up, like no. The officer that went in comes over to the sergeant, immediately puts a hand on his shoulder, whispers something in his ear. You see the sergeant's eyes grow wide a bit, looks back at you, Dane, up and down, looking at Lark and Ulysses. And the sergeant takes his leave, doesn't say another word. The officer steps forward and says, "You may continue on your way." Walks away. The guards walk away.
What was that?
Dane will like head into the cart and see what was the thing they found that caused them to be so
Terrified.
You see the probably make an investigation check. Let's see whether or not you find it. We'll put some suspense into it. We'll put some mystery into it.
Alright, can I get some help?
Lark will help.
Can Thank you. I do not have good investigation.
I don't.
I'm the only person at this party who doesn't have a negative to investigation. I know that.
That's at the 12.
Mm-hmm. 12.
Lark's not
Um,
rolling.
What was the other rules?
Ugh. We're all rolling.
16.
3.
16 for Ulysses?
Yes.
Okay, that's good enough. So Lark and Dane are kind of like looking around and they don't really see anything that causes a commotion. Ulysses, because it's your steed at the front, you head closer to the front and then you see that just at the step between the cart proper and where the reins are, facing the inside of the cart on the wood, you see that something has actually been burnt into it. You look a bit closer and you notice that the sigil of a sword of Verlis has been burnt directly into the cart right there. That's it.
That's not what I expected.
And we'll look at it and says, "You fucking think the guy would have paused or told us, had that? Useful to know."
Cool.
Right.
When was he ever direct with us?
Very true. We don't even know his name. That's a good point.
Pause.
Pause. Alright then, let's get back on the road then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys continue on your journey, and this time, as you kind of navigate through this checkpoint, people seem to just part away. You see the guards like maintaining a very wide berth from your cart, not wanting anything to do with you whatsoever. However, as you approach the end, the same sergeant that was questioning you seems to have an amicable conversation with, comes up to you, just for you to hold for a moment. Don't
Hold.
take this as a slight, but the reason why this checkpoint exists is because south of here and north of the Verlis River, you could call it a no man's land. You may proceed because of whatever protection, as you you have been given. But if I were you, I would not. This entire area has been turned into a place that is not safe to travel. You wish to head to Chechers? The rabble has not found its way there yet, but it will soon. If it is imperative you get there, then you ride as fast as you can with no reserve. I do not know how Jormungandr came to be in possession of that, but I know better than to ask questions. Goodbye, and he walks away.
Oh. You said south of here and north of the Verlis River?
Yeah, so basically this is the checkpoint
I'm assuming it's this river,
So
right?
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the river, like.
Yeah.
So this is the margin line that you guys are at right now, right? So this thing is the margin line, right? And then this is the river. So he's basically saying that this entire area here is sort of a no man's land. So it seems whatever is happening seems to be stretching quite far.
Right, well, I think Dane will take his advice and he'll sort of kick the horse into high gear and begin moving at a bit of
My
a.
fucking horse.
Kick your fucking horse. I'll get the horse to move a bit faster. Quite a bit faster, actually.
I think Lark would feel better is gonna just summon her own steed and go on that instead.
Okay, two steeds.
Instead of being in the cart.
All right then.
Lark,
Your armor
you're
back
going
on.
to run next to us in the open.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to leave. They said go faster.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna have to wait for us regardless, so he might as well just stay in the cart. Okay, in the cart.
Saying where we take turns driving.
Yep.
Fine. Lark won't do that.
So from what I understand, you guys are going to always have a steed pulling the cart and always be moving and not going to stop, correct?
Yeah.
What to do?
Okay. I will say this, Dane, with your experience and battle experience and a lot of things. You would know that a moving cart is not a conducive environment for a long night's rest. Therefore, going to do this, you're not going to be exhausted. The next day you'll still get a long rest. But for each 2 nights that you spend resting in a moving cart, you gain 1 point of exhaustion.
How long will it take us to get the Chemosh at our current rate?
8 days. Your fastest rate from where you are to Chechers would be 8 days of travel.
Right. So Dane was like, alright, we're gonna have a full day's worth of travel. And then we're gonna, after that full days, we're gonna travel again, and then on the second day we're gonna rest. I'm gonna stop and get some sleep, proper sleep, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're gonna have to rotate drivers, so Yule, you pick up after me, and then Lark, you pick after Yule, alright?
All right.
Yeah, Dane will in his shift of the driving and go on.
Okay. So, for the first 2 days of travel, you guys can get to the crossroads where the road to Chechers turns, and then you can get a bit further than that.
Like here-ish.
Here. I'll tell you what I mean. So, like, you guys can get from the margin line down here, and then maybe a bit further that way.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for a survival check.
Mm,
From all of us?
Yes, all of you, because this is a group effort.
Dirty 20.
15.
30,
Plus
20,
9,
and 15. 14.
14 from you.
Okay. It is rough travel, but 48 hours of unstopped movement. And you guys are tired. Nothing entirely of note happens. You, with the speed at which you're traveling, you do in fact overtake a couple of the carts, merchants. You overtake an entire military regiment that does kind of look at you kind of oddly. It's not an entire regiment, sorry, it's just a small company that seem to be marching along this road heading south just before the crossroads. And as you overtake them, they do all kind of look at you with kind of odd gazes, like, what is up with this cart that's heading at breakneck speed here? The captain just looks up and to his left, looking at you as you pass him, doesn't say a word, continues marching. And as you get to the crossroads and you turn right as you turn west, far north in the clouds, this is about dusk, where the sun has almost fully set in front of you at this point, since you're heading west, and to your right is the north. A light permeates through the cloud layer, deep amber red browns, mostly red, coming from far, far north, and disappears after a few seconds. Ominous. And definitely was not the sun. The sun's in front of you, and that was to your right. And after about 3 minutes, you hear radiating through the entire landscape, through your bones as you feel this shockwave.
Well, I don't care for that shit at all.
Mm-mm.
Alright then, you're gonna need a rest, or else we're gonna be putting on fumes, so does there seem to be any nearby area of cover or anywhere like that, or are we in like an open plains sort of
Open
deal?
plains. There are some hills, but they're very small. It's open plains.
Oh, got the
Another
amulet.
day of travel, and you've got the forest. Right, it's the same forest that you were in earlier. So
Okay.
just to mark out the forest, right? So this everything
The lighter
north,
area, right?
Yeah. The lighter area is the forest. So everything that I've marked here is the forest, effectively. Also, why is this continually moving? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, there you go. But yeah. So that the lighter area is the forest, and you can get to the forest with another day of travel, but it is another day, and that will mean taking on
And
exhaustion.
now I need rest.
Exhaustion.
I don't want to get us exhausted and then we have to get into some kind of combat because that will devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have we,
Fo-
like, while on the road, have we seen other people, like, camp out at night where we weren't?
Most of the time, what happens is that you've seen these carts kind of pull off onto the side of the road, and then you assume there's someone sleeping inside while the horse is grazing outside with a fresh bale of hay. But since you've passed the margin line, no, people are not taking that chance.
Okay.
Ah, shite on the biscuit. Alright, well, though we travel another day and ourselves all worked up and getting some cover by the trees, and then we rest. Or we rest out in the open and then get 2 more days of travel.
Could we... No, that wouldn't be a long rest. Let's have it be that the horse is still hooked up to the cart, and whoever's on watch is sitting at the driver's helm. So,
Right?
if something happens, we can easily get out of there.
Smart. Maybe we should
Fair
consider
enough.
maybe hitching up 2 horses actually to keep our speed up.
Unfortunately, while you're sleeping, it is fine state. How long does it last?
Hours?
How many hours?
I don't know if it has a limit, does it?
No, it doesn't have a limit. You just you summon it,
No
and
limit.
it's yeah, it's there
Some
until
time,
it
10 minutes.
dies, or you
It's there until
unsummon
it dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough then. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
thinking of something else. I was thinking of Phantom Steed.
Yeah.
So we can get 2 horses, quote unquote, and get the cart to pull us a good bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good idea, actually.
Quick getaway.
All right, I think Dane will then he'll cast Find Steed and get his warg up.
not suspicious at all.
Not
Okay,
suspicious.
it doesn't particularly matter. It's either the warg was an actual thing that people ride, or edgy horse.
It's just a horse. Throw a blanket
want-
on it or something.
I mean, it's just a
Whatever.
horse that people, when they're passing by, they're gonna do a double take like Skrillex and go and.
It's nighttime. Can't see that horse.
So
Still,
so-
nighttime, definitely Skrillex.
yeah, so Dane will hook up. He will hook up Clarence to the cart.
Okay.
Clarence.
Clarence is hooked up to the cart. Alright then, whoever is taking watch, the first watch, I would like you to roll me a perception check.
I think it's Lark's turn.
It's Lark's turn.
Yeah, Lark. Yeah. Okay. That is a 18.
18. Okay. Lark. Throughout this first half of the night, nothing really interesting happens until you hear a very very faint. And as you kind of look up, and you see sort of to the south, you swear you see a bird maybe 20 feet away from you just flying, and then you realize, no, it's a trick of your mind. It's a trick of blah, 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 words. It's a trick of perspective. It's not a bird, and it's not 20 feet away from you. About a mile away from you in the sky is a massive winged creature, black as night, and you just
It's a-
barely saw it, and it
It's not-
escapes your vision. Seems to be heading
Okay.
west.
Okay.
Thinking.
Heading west, it's not heading towards us.
Nope, it is quite a way south from where you are.
Okay. Lark will go splash cold water on her face for a second. Or if there's some like water nearby, she's gonna splash on her face and be
You
like,
got
I'm
a
gonna
water
keep
skin.
that cold.
You do this. Yeah. Nothing else happens for the duration of your watch. Who is taking second watch?
Dane should be.
Roll
Yeah.
a perception check, Dane.
Since I lost my metal dice, I'm using D&D Beyond.
Right.
Pretty good. 22.
22. You don't see the flying creature anymore, even if Locke tells you about it. It's a bit late for that. But as Locke goes to sleep and you find yourself alone, sitting at this helm, corner of your eye you see in the bush near you a few pieces of grass. Suddenly,
Saw
and
some
then-
movement in the grass.
yeah, and then 20 feet away, a few seconds later, you see some movement there.
Thinking, doesn't care for that shite at all. He would kind of get up with a sword drawn,
Mm-hmm.
and just now focusing on where the movement was coming from. Trying to see what exactly made that, whether it was like an actual creature or an actual enemy.
From where
Shield up.
From where you first saw the movement, then to where you just saw it, suddenly much closer to you, about 10 foot away from the cart, you see again the distinct, you're very sure it's movement now, as you see a bunch of blades of grass immediately shift in unison, and you see the movement. You don't see what's causing it, but you definitely see this distinct movement moving around the cart in an arc.
I'll try and slash at it.
Make an attack roll.
Doesn't that at all. That's Dane's catchphrase. Doesn't care for that. Where's my sword? There's my sword.
What was your attack roll?
17.
17. So as it's moving around the cart, as it comes within range of you to leap at it and slash it in a smooth movement, the veteran warrior that you are, you leap off the cart and it's a single clean cut. You bring it down right where the movement meets the edge of your blade, and you see crimson splattered across the grass. Step forward, move it aside, and you see a hair.
Knew it. Knew it. I'm like, it's gonna be a rabbit.
Rabbit. Did I kill it or is it injured?
It's dead.
Okay,
I
Dane
have
would
like
sheath.
2 HP.
Dane would sheath sword and he'd go over to the rabbit and pick it up.
It is almost cleaved in half. You cut it right where its right shoulder meets its back, and you cleaved its spine in two, and its guts are holding it together.
Breakfast.
So I think Dane would then spend the rest of his watch just gutting and dehiding his rabbit ready for tomorrow's for breakfast.
Fair enough. And as you do this, Dane, eventually the soft orange and yellow hues of a rising eastern sun greet you as you shield your eyes for but a moment, but then open them wider, gazing at this confirmation that you have indeed made it through another night in a territory far from your home, with many seeking to kill you. Warmth comes over you, and all of you take a long rest.
Dane would essentially just have a small fire, just like as the sun would rising, just cooking this rabbit, just kind of with the spit, just slow roasting it, or not slow roasting. He's roasting it pretty quickly, actually.
Fair enough.
Rabbit.
How the fuck did you get that?
Well, when I was watching it at night, saw some in the grass, jumped at me, I stabbed it, and it was a rabbit. So now we have breakfast.
As this sun, by the way, comes up and illuminates this area and the sky around you, who has a passive perception of 16 or higher?
Not 16, only 14.
No.
Fair
Dane
enough.
has the highest perception, so I don't think anyone notices it.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. On this next leg of your journey, then, are you guys going to continue with moving at 2 days at a time?
Yeah.
With our new extra org power, get down
Okay.
as quickly as possible.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
So for 2 days of travel, I would like all of you to roll me perception checks.
If Lark would have shared the detail about the thing in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dane would keep a particular note, searching particularly where that thing was headed, seeing if it's making its way back
Okay.
from where it
Actually,
went.
on that note, since you are paying closer attention to the sky, then even with your passive perception of 14, you would notice this. After a few hours looking up in the sky, keep thinking, big winged creature, you keep looking at the sky and something's odd about it. Something's weird, and you can't quite place it until you realize that it's whatever's odd, it's not in front of it, it's to your right, and you look north, and then you see that the clouds are weird. There seems to be a massive hole, a gaping abyss of where there should be cloud. You see this large circle that is widening and widening where there is no cloud, and the clouds that do exist are being forced apart, forced away. And whatever it was the epicenter for this movement, because you can only but see a small fraction of the arc of this movement in the upper reaches of the sky, it seems to have originated in northern Jormungandr. Whatever you witnessed a couple days ago, the red glow, the eerie sound and shockwave, the repercussions are still being felt, and now you see them in the movement of the clouds.
Fuck is happening? Moving then.
Alright,
Alright.
give me your perception rolls for this 2 days of travel. Actually, perception or survival, your choice.
That's a nat one either way.
I drew 20.
So it will be a 3.
Then
Drew 20.
21.
21. What you guys do see is a few birds that seem to be leaving this area. It's not quite the time for migration, but you see large groups of birds fleeing southward. A few of them head west, but a lot of them seem to be diverting away from the direction in which you're heading. Seem to be heading either northwest or southwest, but none of them directly west. A large amount of birds are heading southward. None of them are heading due north or due east.
It's not a good sign. Again, why are we heading to this place again?
Our friends told us to.
Yeah.
I'm just deciding whether or not it's worth it or not.
We're already halfway there.
If we turn around now, we'll be going to somewhere further than this place.
We
Right.
also don't have the supplies.
Yeah.
Yep. Just everything has happened. Just screaming bad omens.
We were literally told this is going to be a bad idea to go here.
I know, but alright. Well, fucking let's keep doing it then.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next 6 days, nothing particularly eventful happens. You still notice the same things in your environment, but at the speed at which you're going, 2 days of movement, a night of rest, it seems that you have successfully evaded or at least outsprinted whatever danger might approach you from the rear. So on the 8th day, around evening, not quite dusk, but definitely not quite afternoon, you finally see, about a couple miles away from you, the humble walls of a city. Not a city that is in itself humble, but the walls are Small, 10 foot high, dark, stone-aged, longer than anyone would care to remember, uncared for. The large arches that adorn the road heading directly into it, no longer holding any doors. However, what you do see and what draws your attention immediately is a large tower. What seems to be almost directly in the center of this wide city is a large white tower with 2 peaks, splits about 100 foot up. You see one peak is larger and one smaller, the smaller emitting some form of dark smoke, and the larger having a uniquely clear top, almost a dome in shape, some sort of observatory, no doubt. Finally, as you get closer, your attention shifts from the heights to the lows, for on the road to Chechers is another checkpoint. I see a guard waving similar looking flags at you, which you take to mean slow down and don't cause trouble. Party, what would you like to do?
It worked well last time. Why don't we just direct him to stare at the burnt-in mark on the cart?
Alright. Worth a shot.
Yeah, Dane will comply. He'll slow down. And... There.
Oh there, what's your business in Chechers? And welcome to Chechers, home of the Ivory Tower. What's the business here?
We'll get off the cart and he goes like, "Oh, come look at this, mate.
Last time
It's
someone
important.
said that. Last time someone
It's
said
important.
that. One second. Hey, watch my back. Make sure it doesn't kill me when I'm looking at this cart. One of the guards comes around with a spear. Okay, and like
I
he
will like
follows
take
you.
him like by the shoulder around to the mark.
Mhm.
You look, see that?
He goes white, steps back, like shoos away the other guy. You may proceed.
Yeah, thank you.
Man, that thing's useful.
Yes. Oh God, me as a person. God, I wish I had something like that. Just like show it and then immediately get let in to do anything. Oh.
As you guys enter the city from the walls, just almost from barely out of your vision, a figure kind of very gracefully jumps off of the inner section of this wall where there seems to be staircases heading up to the to man the battlements, lands on the top of your cart, and then comes forward and lands next to you, Dane, as you're driving the cart. I see you found my token of appreciation. Nice to see you made it here in one piece. And you see this slender lady with blonde hair tied into a neat braid behind her back. These blue, what you would think was an evening gown if it wasn't for the fact that there's leather armor over it and a rapier at her side. Just looking back at you, incredibly beautiful. Looking back at you with a smile, cursory wink at Lark.
Mark's trying to put 2 and 2 together.
Are you the one we're supposed to meet?
He just kind of looks at you for a moment, and the eyes glaze over pure white before going back to the
Oh
place
yeah,
where
no,
they
it's
are.
paused. Yeah, you know, I get it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot you could do the whole thing. Yeah.
You forgot?
You don't do it that
I
often,
did.
alright? Stop.
Fair.
Well, it certainly took you longer to get here than I expected.
Oh, we had to help some with the seed.
What is a seed?
Don't worry about it.
Luck.
Well, we
Sorry.
kind of do need to worry about it because this is the one guy who is helping us.
Luck kind of looks back at you. He looks back at you and raises a sly eyebrow, lowers it again, turns back to the tower.
Right.
It's fairly easy to navigate through the streets, and it's bustling, but there's a palpable air of tension. The appears word of a Jormungandr incursion has reached the ears of these townsfolk. You can almost smell fear. There was a smell to it, it is sweat. And it is the smell of a forge, because it seems like every blacksmith in this town has had their forge running for a while now, churning out plate and blade to fuel the fires of the military that is undoubtedly bracing themselves for an incoming invasion. You go through the city streets, people gloom on their faces, children not particularly laughing. You hear a stray cry of joy passes by quickly. Hushed voices, sobs, tears, closed, shuttered storefronts, boarded up houses, windows in the process of being boarded up. Finally, you come to the city center. Another wall, not as humble this time. Clear stone, polished, probably each day. One large arch with a wooden door, which does not seem to be in any state of disrepair, that opens almost automatically as you approach. This large double door reveals a serene garden, a reprieve from the worries of the city at large. The cart is let through. Pause, gets up, hops off the cart, heads to the tower. Make yourselves at home, and I will see you at the top of the tower in the morning. Take a night's rest. Turns around through a doorway, and is all you see of them. What would you like to do?
The cart away. Dismiss Clarence.
Your steed is dismissed.
I'll also dismiss my steed.
Okay. All the steeds are dismissed, we'll just put it that way.
Alright.
Alright. So, we chat. So, I think we need to be a bit more open with Paws. As if he sees that we're doing that, he may be a bit more open with us. Right now, this is the only person that we could have any kind of assistance from, of the kind that we're looking for. So it'll do us no good if we're keeping secrets from him.
Alright.
Not to tell them everything. It is important that they know that the Jormungandr are trying to get some important artifact. Alright.
Alright.
Well, we should get some rest. Wow.
Great. Are we taking watches?
Want to take watchers?
As you guys are having this discussion, one of the attendants from the tower comes up to you. Sirs, ma'am, we have been instructed to prepare rooms for you. They are available. How many rooms would you like, and what are the arrangements?
We have one large room
Done for all three of you.
for the group.
I thought we were
Three
supposed to
beds,
trust pause.
or-
I'll just pause, but it doesn't hurt if something does go wrong.
Alright.
How many beds would you like?
B.
Well, one of our attendants will be along to bring you up shortly. Would you like any of your belongings to be moved to your room?
What's in the cart?
What's in the cart? Are you asking as out of game?
Sorry, I meant as a player, what is in the cart other than food?
Mainly,
There's a lot of food in there.
yeah, it's a lot of food, supplies. Right now, nothing particularly important. You've got that wedge, but I mean, we say that's in Lark's backpack. Most of your real valuables are all on you. By the way, who has the amulet of proof against detection?
I think Lark still has
I
it.
think it should be
Are
large.
you
Yeah.
wearing it? Are
Should
you
stay
attuned
on
to it?
Mark.
I think Lark would have started wearing it when she knew what it was. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he told you what it was from the beginning, so
Yeah.
in that case, then that's on you, and yeah, you know how that works.
Oh,
Anybody
yeah. How
need
much
me to?
money did we get on?
Oh yeah, that's right. You never asked me. 20
For
plat,
us, yeah.
20 plat each.
Platinum. Oh, damn.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Some rich tree people.
Yeah.
I will say, the platinum does not look. I mean, it is the same weight, and it is made from platinum, but it is not stamped in a motif that you recognize. It is not Jormungandr, nor is Verlisian. It's probably still good for tender, but it's definitely not from either of these nations.
I recognize.
No,
Okay. So it's not from Perlay either.
no.
Mm-hmm.
It's not from Canoyosia to Dwayne. Fucking, how do I pronounce that? Why did I write it that way? Toduania. I come up with these names and then I can't pronounce them.
Tadwania.
Toduania.
Yeah.
Toduania.
Tadwania.
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
Maybe the equivalent of the Italian.
So
Okay.
it's not Golian, it's not Jormungandr, and it's not Verlisian, and it's definitely not from the neighboring nations. So yeah, there you go.
Who do we say that this probably just looks like platinum? They got into the rough shape of coins rather than it actually being stamped.
Oh, no,
and
it is
recognized
stamped.
Tender.
It is stamped.
It's stamped.
It is definitely intentionally mint, but you do not recognize. None of you speak Sylvan or read Sylvan, right?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yep.
So you do see that in Sylvan there are the words legal tender on each one of these coins, but you do not recognize the mint. It is an intentional mint.
Don't worry, guys. They're legal.
They're legal.
All right.
They are legal tender. They say so right here.
Oh, I
Barely
mean, it,
speaks.
well, if anyone's got a problem with us using it, then we'll introduce them to the symbol on the back of the card, and if they then don't do it, then they're probably Jormungandr and we kill them.
All right.
Ulysses, you would know that most people wouldn't know what the symbol is. Only really
Yeah,
people in the military.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you guys do know, you two didn't recognize that symbol.
Oh yeah.
Then, I don't know, just then we don't kill civilians. Then, well, probably shouldn't do that in general. Whatever, we'll figure it out.
That'll be
You'd
fine.
a good person.
That'll be fine.
We're fine. Don't
A short while
worry.
later, an attendant that seems to be wearing a fully white robe with a rounded, almost turban-like, but it's not a turban, it's just a round headband that covers their face, and they're fully covered in this long white flowy robe comes up to you. Guess your room is available. Would you like to follow me? Is the head cocks, but you see no expression, covered in a white veil.
Lead the way.
Yep.
A hand you don't see any skin at all. This entire person is under this long flowy white veil, and as they turn and begin to move, you don't see any semblance of footsteps. It's almost like they're gliding across the floor.
All right.
Lead you into this tower. The first thing you notice, it's bigger on the inside. Definitely bigger on the inside. You step into this tower and immediately it's greeted with what is luxury but not extravagantly so. It is warm, the stone is of good quality, polished. It's not gaudy, it's not like it's some rich man's mansion. It is functional, but it is luxurious. Head to the second floor, where turning into a corridor, there is a single door. It is dark wood door, and a key is handed to you, Dane. Your room awaits.
We'll go to the room then.
You open the door to the room, and you step into this warm interior. 3 beds, very well cared for, sitting in this large room. You see a door leading out to the side, probably to a connected bath, you would assume. But what immediately strikes your eye is that towards the front is an open area, and out you can see the sun. And there is a large natural sauna in front of this bedroom. And it almost seems like you are underground, because you look at the sun again and you realize it's not a sun, it's a large crystal in a cavernous wall. It's fucky, because you're definitely above ground, you're in a small tower, but you're in this large cavernous... it's weird.
Ulysses, 5 gold if you go touch it.
No.
Alright.
Gold. Touch it.
Okay.
I'll go touch it.
You go touch it. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, what the hell? Alright, sorry. Freaked out there for a second. Con save?
Mm-hmm.
24.
Okay, so you take 6 halved. So you get closer, it's really warm, you reach out to touch it, and you take 3 points of fire damage as your skin that touches it just burns ever so slightly. But you manage to get your hand back, and yeah, it's hot, it's bright, and it's almost searing your retinas as you're this close to it.
He'll step away, walk up to Lark with his hand open.
Lark will give him 5 gold. Alright.
Oh, there you go.
If
Dane
you
will go
didn't
over
know
and
any
claim-
better, Dane's almost tanned.
Dane will go over to the middle bed and he'll claim that one.
Okay, fair enough. So, party, you guys have your room. You have been instructed to rest and recuperate, and that you will have a conversation in the morning. So, while you guys have some time to yourselves in this room, in this magical-ish room, what would you like to do?
Lark's gonna go take a bath.
Okay, you're gonna. I'm assuming you're going to the bathroom to take a bath and not in the
Yes.
sauna. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Take
Okay.
a bath.
All right. Go ahead. Bathroom is fairly spacious, private, but spacious.
We've been on the roll for a while. Lark wants a bath.
We'll begin taking care of equipment, just cleaning it,
Mhm.
mending any broken bits, or sharpening any blades that look to be dulled.
Okay. And what about Ulysses? What are you gonna do?
I just kind of want to look around the room, see what else is here.
Make an investigation check.
12.
12. It doesn't appear to be much. It seems like it is a room that is meant for guests. Most of the cupboards are empty. There are racks for coat hanging. There are armor racks, 3 of them, in case you want to put your armor up. There's nothing particularly important or unique here other than that, though. There's a few snacks, some peanuts, some dried bread that is still good, and a few dried meats on a platter in the center of the table. It's in the center of the room, but other than that, nothing much. A while passes. Lark, as you return from your shower, and Dane, as you're managing equipment, an attendant knocks on the main door. Guess.
Let me go open the door partly.
Okay.
See who it is.
She is holding. It's the same attendant who is in the all white. She is holding a large tray with 3 bowls that all seem to be covered, and a 4th larger tray of various breads that have been cut up. Dinner. I assume you are hungry from your travel, and you are probably sick of rations.
Starved.
She comes in, sets up the
Alright, yeah.
table. You guys open up the bowls, and effectively what is in there is this rich stew that is seems to be made of some kind of livestock, some meat. and garnished with a gravy that is like kind of like if you have biscuits and country gravy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that kind of gravy. It's a
Mm.
cool gravy. The breads
Ugh.
themselves are crispy on the outside but soft on the inside, perfectly toasted. Each one is about the size of a fist and just crunches well in your mouth. And after a while,
Fist
she
bread.
returns with a three flagons and a large keg of ale, and sets it down.
Nice.
Have your fill,
Nice.
and if you need anything more, just ask. I'll see you in the morning otherwise. Good night. She takes a
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, shit. It's shit on a shingle. Yes.
It's not like food you would expect at like the most prestigious of establishments, but it's good food. It's filling and it's nutritious.
Gravy on toast, man.
Yo,
Shit on
you
a
guys have
shingle.
I'm gonna
you guys
I'll
have no
pass that up.
idea because I'm on a 600 calorie deficit right now. So like that, just describing that made me hungry.
It made me want goulash.
I've had one thing to eat today.
Actually, I'm on an 800 calorie deficit today. Shit. All right. Anyway, moving past that, so I don't keep thinking about food. Would you guys like to do anything before you retire for the night?
Dane would just do a small ritual ceremony to Ilnaville, thanking him for a safe journey and for the honorable battle that we were in previously. And then that he headed to bed. He's an old man. He gets to sleep. He wants to sleep.
Lark and Ulysses.
Yeah,
Michael hang
after
out
we
in
had,
the sauna because it's an option.
Okay.
yeah, after we had eaten, I was gonna go take a bath.
Okay. A
Or we'll
bath
go
or a
into-
He doesn't pay you.
sauna dip?
Hmm?
Are you taking a bath or a sauna dip?
Bath.
Bath. Okay. Fair enough. So after your bath, you find yourself tired and it's about time to take a long rest as well. I'm assuming nobody else wants to do anything after that, right? Got it.
Mm,
Okay, so as you guys head to rest, Lark, for having gone into the sauna, you gain 10 temporary hit points on your next long rest, as you feel extra rested. And all of you can take a long rest, and that's why we're going to take a short break. So,
Cool.
I'm going to go over to stream controls, and we're going to be going on a very short break. Maybe, well, not very short. It is 2:35 for me. Let's take a 15-minute break. Does that sound good for the rest of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And we will be right back. Thank you for watching. And we are back. Thank you for bearing with us on this break that we just took, because we definitely needed it. So, party, you arise from your long rest. Kind of hard to tell whether it's light out or not. The crystal went out during the night when all three of you got into bed. The crystal went out immediately as well. Seems it's magically designed to do that. As the first among you awaken, it slowly begins to reawaken itself with its soft ember glow. And as you arise, don your armor, and stretch and have a small bit of breakfast from the meat platter that is in your room, it begins to have more of a vibrance to it. The morning beckons. Party, what would you like to do?
We're supposed to talk to that guy, aren't we?
We are. Do we know where he is?
Not as far as I know. We can go look for him.
Probably go ask someone, yeah.
There.
Alright.
So do you open the door?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You open the door and taken aback for a second as the attendant in all white is standing outside your door, perhaps 5 foot away from the door, facing, unmoving, and as you open the door, all you hear is a "Good morning." Your benefactor is awaiting your arrival on the top floor. Simply take the stairs up and don't divert anywhere until you reach the very top of the stairs, and you will have reached your destination.
All right.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah.
Okay. You guys got
Guy?
the stairs? Luke, you here?
Amir, sorry. I was speaking, but I was muted.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, I was wondering why you weren't speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're being really quiet.
I had
What?
myself muted. I was eating some toast, sorry.
It's all good.
Lark turns to the attendant. What happens if we diverge?
Well, you will end up somewhere that is not your destination. I'm sure you wouldn't want
Oh.
that.
And to the
If-
top
if-
floor then.
I understand that staying on a path without taking any turns might be a task that is quite difficult. Should you take a turn, then simply take 2 more turns in the same direction, and you'll be back in the correct direction.
It's like a circular tower, right?
It is a
square.
spiral staircase.
Yeah.
You're telling me that this spiral staircase not just go up? Is there some magical MacGuffinery going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think humor might be unique to Verlisians. I was saying that if you happen to turn off the staircase and head into a door, you can just turn around and you'll be heading the right direction again.
Yeah, Dane, take a joke.
My jokes. It's lies. We can walk upstairs.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't let him go first.
No, let him.
Okay. So, you guys are heading to your top of the tower. How, let's see here. Who's at the front?
Dane, apparently.
Staying in the front. Yep.
Apparently
Staying in the
they-
front. Alright. This trek takes quite a while. It does not seem to be something that, like, you get up to the spiral staircase. Let me describe it. It's a fairly simple staircase, right? White stone, metal grill heading around, and then you look up, you don't see the end. You look down, you don't see the end. It's just a single hollow tube going all the way through this tower. It's kind of creepy. You start ascending, no end in sight. After a while, it feels like you've been ascending this tower for a good 10 minutes. Still look up.
That's just a magic elevator, goddammit.
Come on.
Dane would keep walking.
Another
Yeah.
10 minutes pass.
Want to give up.
Looking up, there's still no end in sight. Until a few steps later, suddenly you're at a opening? A wall? Not entirely sure. The stair opens up into a platform, and in front of the platform is a wall here and a wall here, and you seem to be at the top of the stairs as you look down. You could have sworn just seconds ago you were maybe halfway up it. You step onto the platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Step onto the platform, and then you don't really notice anything different. Turn around, the stairs are gone. Instead, you are now within a small enclosed chamber, and instead of the stairs is an opening onto a bright sky and a balcony.
Step outside.
You step
Yeah.
outside, and you guys find yourselves on the one of two peaks of this large tower, looking out across the city of Chechers. This is the smaller peak. Looking up, you can see that the peak rises a bit further from you. You are on a balcony that's about halfway up this peak, and there's smoke coming out from the very top of the roof of this peak. You see a higher balcony, and over there you see a familiar blonde woman, again with a rapier on her hip, looking at you, a mug in her hand, steaming liquid coming from it. Just beckons you to come up. Notice there is a side stairwell that seems to head up and into what appears to be a room at the top of this area.
We'll go to the person beckoning us.
Mm-hmm.
You guys hit up, the doors open. There are chairs and hot mugs of coffee prepared for each one of you, and some biscuits around this table. 3 chairs, one for each of you, as this lady sits across from you on this table. Hope you had a good night's rest.
Best in a while.
Yeah.
I figured I asked them to give you one of the better rooms, given that you've, well, been kind of on the road for a couple of weeks. What was the delay? I expected you here a couple of days earlier.
Well, we got sidetracked a bit. Some Jormungandr forces had an interesting task that we had to stop. They were after some sort of artifacts of Sylvanas.
You mentioned
about
a
a seed.
and it stoked a bit of my memory, so I did a bit of reading. Speaking of the seed of Sylvanas, with incredible scrying and predictive property.
Mm.
Well, did Jormungandr gain access to this artifact?
Well, thanks to a well-planned ambush, we were able to eliminate their forces while also getting some information.
See eyebrows raised. Resourceful. Put a feet up at the table. Well, on a slight table, not on the table with the food. With the coffee. Well, that's good to hear. And did you use the seed?
And we found something out very interesting.
Well, pray tell.
Oh, seems like stepmother, she doesn't seem to be on this plane anymore.
One eyebrow raises.
Seems to be in the Shadowfell.
2 eyebrows raise.
Yeah.
A sip of coffee. Looks at a lot.
That as well.
What if your
Seems like she
brother?
faked her death.
What of your brother? Looking at Luck.
I didn't see the seed. Know about as much as they, but
I
apparently,
told you what I did.
yeah, he's sitting on the throne.
Well,
But
we
no,
actually don't know if it's him.
yeah,
He was masked.
a masked
No.
individual claiming to be my brother is sitting on the throne.
No one. Take this.
Seems like stepmother. Or not hiding death. Sorry, she's pending. She's dead. That said, the soldiers we interrogated said that Lark killed the king and the queen, but her brother survived.
Oh my, why did you do such a thing? And looking at Lark. Just kind of playfully looking at you. Well, putting down the mug. Things are certainly complicated. I'm sure you would have noticed by now that, well, for one, I'm here, and I told you you'd be meeting somebody else here, but fate is a fickle mistress, it seems. I cannot afford to be as far from the capital as I was before, for reasons that I am not going to tell you about. However, what I am going to tell you is that Periphery has fallen, and while Lozelk has not, it is but a matter of time. Hosirelt is holding the invasion, as are the northern territories, but a large Jormungandr force has entered Balisian lands, west of Periphery, south of Lozelk, and Lozelk is surrounded on 3 fronts by the enemy. The Jormungandr force has managed to make contact with the Jormungandr incursion north of Verlis, which means that the roads to Verlis from the north are effectively cut off, with very little way around. Originally, you were to head to Verlis directly from here, across forest, marsh, and river. However, well, I'm sure you can see where this is going. That might no longer be possible. If the enemy has managed to push all the way up to the river, then heading directly to Verlis from here might no longer be something that is possible. So, kind of puts both her hands on the table, sits up properly. I have a couple options for you. As a sword, I do not put all my eggs in one basket, and I am not going to insult you by saying that I'm putting all my hopes and dreams for Verlis into the basket of your successful coup. However, I still would like to see it attempted. Are you familiar with the Underdark?
Underdark.
Vaguely. Well, yeah, actually.
Know of its existence, and I know of its inhabitants to an extent. Never been there myself.
Well, looks towards Ulysses. How much do you know of Chechers? It is your homeland, regal conservation of Pearl. And Chechers, yeah, so Chechers is south and west of Chechers. Yeah,
Right here.
Yep, right there.
Once my paint not selected.
Make a history check, Ulysses, to see how much you know of the city.
That's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay.
Natural 20 for, I think, 23? 23.
Okay. You know that it is a very militaristic town of the regal conservation of Pearl. There are a few large noble houses there, and it is one of the 3 main military interests of Goli to protect their territory.
Hmm. Well, I know it's a bit of an important military town.
Yes, well, there is a way to reach Chechers from here through the Underdark, and there's a way to reach Felicia from Chechers through magic.
Hmm.
You're cutting out there a little bit. Can you repeat that?
There's a way to reach Chechers from here through the Underdark, and there's a way to reach Verlis from Chechers through magic.
A lot better than the immediate thought I was having.
Which is what?
Well, it involved going to Wretches, and then I thought you were just going to say take the river.
Well, I had not entirely discounted that plan because the river that is somewhat close to Chechers and heading to Verlis, especially south of Chechers, is, as far as we know, not manned by Jormungandr forces. It's the river north of Verlis that is to be worried about. So, if you're really squeamish about magic, then you could certainly take that route. I'm not going to stop you. It would add a certain number of weeks to your journey, however. But here's the
I
thing.
know that.
Magic's
I
fun.
do not have sway in riches. And neither do you. But Ulysses, you might. And while I said I'm not putting all my eggs in your basket, I'm putting some. In exchange for that, I would like you to help me carry another basket, which I am also putting eggs in, if you catch my drift.
Let's do.
Alert.
I would like the three of you to head to Chechers with a letter from me, which you will not open, you will guard with your lives, and you will hand to the commander of the garrison in Chechers. It is a regal request from Verlis to Goli for military support in this tough time.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You will also be carrying a separate letter, which will be calling in a favor at the Kreinstein Academy. I'm gonna write that down.
Rhinestone Academy. So we need to deliver a note to the commander of the garrison and to the Crimestein Academy. I assume to a headmaster or something of such.
Well, no, not entirely. You will be delivering this note to the quartermaster of the Kreinstein Academy, and for your own sake, I suggest you do not open the note, and he will then secure passage for you to the outskirts of Verlis.
Hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now,
Is that all?
Well,
there is an obvious drawback here. Your cart is not going to follow you into the Underdark.
All right.
And having traveled the route in the Underdark between here and there, it is treacherous, and you can only really travel on foot. So, my recommendation would be to spend a couple days here, shoring up your equipment, shoring up your weapons, and getting rid of that as he just like vaguely gestures towards Lark's outfit, and finding something a bit more inconspicuous.
All right.
suppose you could help us in that regard then, could you?
Perhaps I could, but kind of points out to the balcony, and now you guys see that you're on the balcony, like looking out over Chechers, and you look towards the east, and you can clearly see what seems to be like a full regiment of forces far along the road on the plains east of Chechers. I have to deal with that, so I can't really spare much. You have coin, I have given you resources, use them. I'm sure you can find what you need in the town.
Mhm.
Right.
Ask you one question.
Yes.
real quick. I'm gonna pull out one of the platinums we were given.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where this is from?
Reaches out and grabs it. Where'd you get this?
We were given it as payment for protecting that eye thing.
Chuckles. Like, does a coin roll over her fingers and flips the coin back towards you. That's Feywild Mint.
Hmm.
I mean, it's still
That
worth the same
explains
amount
this.
here.
Yeah. But it does explain the Sylvan dough.
Does, yeah. Last thing, noticed that you placed a little mark on our cart. It allowed us to get through to places without too many questions asked.
I hope
Don't suppose we can get one a bit more portable, could we?
It wouldn't be hard for me to do something like that. However, not only would it be a gross violation of my authority, it would also not serve you. You are heading out of Verlis. And when you head to Valicia, well, it's a different story there. I would highly recommend that you do not show that emblem to anybody south of the river.
Right. Last thing. When we was coming here, we saw something in the sky. Some big.
And smiles
You know
at
what that
you.
is?
Oh, that was fucking you. God damn it.
He just smiles at you and he goes, "Yes."
You that fucking bird.
Have a good trip.
Ah, god damn it. Ilnaville be. Ah,
Oh, yeah. We also got attacked by a bird with this thing lodged in it. Like, please, this is the pistol.
oh, yeah, that happened.
You are full of surprises. He reaches out and grabs. May I keep this? I would like to study it.
Yeah, I guess so. It's really just weight in my bag at this point.
He's gonna get more use out of it than we are.
He
Yeah.
walks. It's a female body right now, but I mean, he's introduced himself as male, so I'm just gonna keep saying he. He walks back to his table, puts the shard on the table, reaches into a little drawer, pulls out a pouch, kind of weighs it a little bit, and then tosses it over to Ular. In exchange,
Awesome.
inside the pouch, emeralds, small emeralds, in total worth about 200 gold.
Okay.
Well,
So you know you're bougie as fuck. You're paying someone in emeralds.
have a safe journey. Take a couple days to prepare, and whenever it is that you are ready to depart, come back to the tower, and one of the attendants will see that you enter the Underdark. The entrance is here.
Okay.
Very well then. Alright, party. So you have the days ahead of you. What would you like to do?
I think Dane would like to grab everyone together.
Okay. So, I think this is gonna last time we are in a place of good rapport. And if our cards right, we might be able to get to exploit that a little bit more to our favor. Needing to upgrade our equipment, chainmail, and magic items. Not gonna serve us too much better past this point. So we may want to consider upping our arsenal. I think we may want to pool our money together and see if we can fit ourselves out a bit more liberally.
All right.
How much y'all got?
Hold on. pull up a calculator real quick. I'm just gonna add all numbers together.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
I know we each got 20 platinum, right?
Oh, I
200
know
gold
how much I
roughly.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
So that's
you want just amounts?
Hold on.
Just in straight gold, just no platinum, so just how much.
Okay,
Yeah.
just gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dane's
I
got
have
450.
I have 935.
I'm assuming that's including the emerald.
Yes, it is.
Okay. We have 1,854 gold. As a party.
Okay.
Right, so down to the blacksmith, see if they've got some armor for us, and maybe even if there might be some magic items they're willing to part with. We're gonna head into town then.
There are a few blacksmiths, each one of them slightly different from the other. What type of blacksmith are you going to be looking for, or do you want me to describe a couple of them?
Preferably an armor.
Armor.
Yeah, let's start
There are
with.
a couple armor smiths. One of them seems to have a more open layout where a lot of the racks are out in the front, and in the enclosed area of his stores where the smithy is, currently seems to be working on reverting a piece of plate armor. There's another armor smith who seems to be working slightly higher quality armor, but seems to have much less in his shop at the moment. Which one would you like to go to?
There we go, a guy with riveting the plate. Ain't looking for fancy, we're looking for one that keep us safe.
Useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems
Size.
to not really hear you over the sound of ponk, 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 ponk. As you get close, look up. Right there, how can I help you?
Look for some armor.
What kind? You're looking for the full plate, breastplate, or you're looking for the mail sort?
Looking for plate, half plate. Got
Plate,
armor we could
half
trade for
plate.
it along with gold and stuff we could make as well.
What kind of armor? Can I see it?
So Dane is wearing his armor, so he'll like tink it.
Alright, the guy's gonna get up and puts on like a little monocle just to get a closer look at it. Grabs one of his smaller hammers, kind of tings against your armor, listens to the sound. Right. I mean, it's good armor. I'm not sure why you want something different.
Something better.
Want something better. Ooh. Steps back for a moment.
We're all wearing chainmail, right?
Yeah.
I just want to confirm that. Yeah.
Alright. Do you want it to be mundane, or are you looking for better?
Dane for the moment.
Alright. Well, that'll be depends. How quickly do you need?
2 days.
2 days. All three of you.
I mean, were we told we had to leave within 2 days?
We were said to leave in a few days.
Yeah.
Could maybe stretch that to 3.
Kind of
We'll
thinks
probably
for a
stretch it
second.
out to like 5 if we need to.
4 is probably our maximum.
It would take me 2 days just to make one set of plate armor, and plate armor goes for about 150 platinum these days.
Yeah.
We don't have that money.
We trade in.
Fine. We
Trade
we
in-
don't have enough for 3 of us, guy. Period.
No.
Well,
I know.
if
I'm
you
just saying, if we trade in our sets of armor,
Well, a half plate is 75 platinum. I could definitely do that within a day. If pointing at Locke and Ulysses, for the skinny ones, I think I can knock out a half plate in a day. If it's for you, a half plate 2 days would be fine. So if all three of you wanted half plate, I could do that in about 4 days. If one of you wants plate, then in total is going to be 5, maybe 6 days. And
How
that is assuming you add a bit of extra gold to sweeten the deal, so I put everything else on hold for a bit.
Yeah. It's about splitting.
Half
Splint
plate.
mail.
Splint.
Hmm.
Yeah, splint mail.
Well, I'll look around for a bit. I could do splint for about 200 gold per set, but splint will take as long as plate.
Hmm.
For the chainmail is better than half plate.
Is it?
It is unless you have
High
at
dex.
least a 14.
Yeah.
Well, it maxes out at 2.
Yeah, max out.
It'll give you the same benefit as it'll give you the same AC as splint if you have a 14 or higher in dex. I don't, so therefore if I were to switch over to half plate, I would get literally no benefit. That's why I asked about splint.
Oh.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't want the stealth disadvantage, you could switch from chainmail to breastplate, which doesn't give you disadvantage, and it's the same amount of armor.
Lark will do that.
All right. Do you have a dex modifier of 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that's why. Mm-hmm.
Breastplate for you. Breastplate's going to be about 400 gold pieces, and I can do that within a day.
Great. Can I also trade in the chainmail for part of it at least? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
Then I can probably say 350 for your breastplate.
All right.
What
I'll
about?
just mention that we're friends with the individual in the tower.
Oh, that's good to know. Doesn't change the price.
And I thought I might try.
Sometimes.
Fair enough.
How long did he say the splint would take again? He said as much as plate. How long is
Splint
that?
would take about as long as plate, which will take about 3 days per set.
3 days
Yeah.
per set. It would be 4 if I were to get splint. I could probably be fine sticking with chainmail if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Gale mail, sorry.
What?
What'd you say, guy?
What?
I'm just looking at armors. 1 minute, sorry.
Oh, yeah. I'm debating because half plate would get me up to a 19 AC.
I mean, half plate for you would give you your AC would stay the same because you're wearing chainmail right now. Yeah, it will. It's a 14 plus dex modifier, maximum of 2. So breastplate maxes out at 16. Plus, I'm assuming you have a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll get you up to 18, and then you have defense, so 19. So
Yeah.
you should maintain your AC, but you won't have the disadvantage.
That's weird because chainmail was only giving me an 18.
It
Oh, I'm looking at
shouldn't
half
be.
plate. So I don't know why it was. Weird. I'll check that again. Either D&D Beyond fucking up or whatnot, but
So, how much
I'll
is
just take
splint
the
then?
best place.
1 second. What is your strength, Millie?
It's at a 20. So
Okay.
plus 5.
Or sorry, what were you saying, Luke?
Just splint mail?
Splint mail is 200 gold pieces. It will take 3 days to complete.
1 set.
Days.
So say again.
Days?
Yes,
And plate is only 2 days.
Plate,
3 days.
no, plate and splint will both take 3 days, but splint is only 200 gold pieces, whereas plate is 1500.
Yeah. I think 2 sets of splint for me and Ulysses is probably best.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll take just breastplate because then I don't want to have disadvantage on
If
stuff.
I'm doing 2 splints, I could probably speed it up just a little bit and get both of them done in 5 days. And your breastplate, I could squeeze it all out within 5 to 6 days.
What
Alright.
about the other armor? What about the
Well,
other armor?
the other
Yeah,
armor.
we're given our trading in our armors.
Fair enough.
Okay,
we're trading-
you're trading in 3 sets of chainmail. I'm going to give you a 150 gold discount for that. So with your breastplate and 2 sets of splints, that would be 800 gold. 800 would be 650 after discount. And because you're asking me to put everything else on hold, I'm going to add 50 gold to that price so that I can justify to my other customers why I'm not working on their orders that they gave me before you. So in total, there'll be 700 gold for the entire set.
Reasonable.
That'll,
Reasonable.
that'll bring
Mhm.
us down to 1,154 gold as a party.
Great.
So,
How do you want
that
your
order.
armor motifed?
Inconspicuous.
On the
Conspicuous.
on the chest, put a symbol of Ilnaville, if you would be so kind.
All right.
Inconspicuous. Giant one on the
Ilnaville.
And for the two of you, no motifs then.
Hmm. Thinking. One motif on the inside of the armor.
What would you like?
Good question. She wants to put her family crest, but that's also not a good idea.
A horrible idea.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
How about
Come
I
up
do
with
it
a
for
new
you
family crest.
without a motif
Yeah.
for now, and you can always add one at a later time.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right then. As for colors, any of you have a choice of tabard color or anything of the sort?
It's
Sorry,
red.
red for you.
White and red.
White and red. Understood. And you, miss?
Pewter. No, silver.
Silver. And how about you?
Silver and bronze.
Silver and bronze. So silver and bronze, white and red. Excellent. You can expect these 5 to 6 days from now. Just come here and check it out. I would like half of the payment up front though.
Alright.
Will I pay him 350?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll leave that out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Uh,
your armor is settled for now. What else would you guys like to do?
I'm looking for anyone that could do magic items. I'm saying that in Dane's voice. Looking for someone who could do magic items.
Magic.
Make an investigation check.
I'm not good at this.
Mm.
Bad, 15.
15. It's kind of hard to really look for a store that you don't know if it exists, especially when you're like, what does a store that sells magic items looks like? And then after a while, you kind of just stop in the middle of the street looking around, and you see a store, and you're like, that's what a store that sells magic items looks like. Because you see a store that has this large cauldron on the glass window. It seems to be bubbling with some kind of bright blue liquid. And on the inside you see all kinds of oddities. You see weapons and armor on the wall. You see pots of weird liquids behind the counter. You see shelves of various items. Kind of looks like one of those old bookstores with like only one aisle of books in the middle, and like the walls are all filled with random magazines, and some of them are probably not supposed to be sold, but yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
I think Dane, we're gonna bring everyone's attention to that. It's a magic shop. Let's go.
Alright.
Gonna be perfectly honest, that sounded a lot more like a potion shop to me, but whatever.
You guys enter, and there is a human man just standing there, turning around. Can I help you? Never seen any of you before.
Wouldn't imagine you have. I'm looking for magic items. Tell them.
Right, what kind?
What do you say? You got that for me.
What kind?
Protection. No.
You the cloak wearing kind?
Been known to wear one.
Alright, give me a second. Kind of like eyes you guys all up. Seems to semi-approve, or at least he doesn't seem to disapprove. Heads to one of the racks, opens a little box, and pulls out a large red cloak. It's, make it a bit harder for you to get hit if something mean was coming your way. Part with it for 600 gold.
Buy 2 and drop that price down to 1,000.
I don't have to, but he kind of like goes behind the counter. This one's significantly more valuable because it's much harder to make. And he takes a small box and puts it on the table and goes, it's a ring. It's something fairly similar to what this does. 1,300 for the two of them. Ring is significantly more valuable than a cloak.
We literally don't have that, by the way.
How much do we have?
We have 1,000. Well, we do have it, but if we
With the
pay
platinum.
that, yeah, if we pay that, then we're not going to be able to pay for our armor.
Mm.
Once it's finished, we have 1,154.
And platinum.
You don't got 2 cloaks.
No,
You want-
this is including all of the platinum and all of the jewels that you have.
Oh, you only got 1 cloak, right?
Only got the one cloak. Only got the one ring too.
Sure, man. Sure, you can have seen the atmosphere outside.
Right. We know that atmosphere is the reason why I only have the one cloak and the one ring left.
So, hits the fan. Now you're gonna see too much business. It might be the last big purchase you make, or the last big sale you make in a long while. We could both walk out here, happy, with items and money. But for that to happen, I'm gonna need you to drop that price down to 1,100.
Roll persuasion.
Hey. This is my D&D Beyond. There's my D&D Beyond. Persuasion. Dirty 20.
Narrows his eyes a bit. 1,150.
Okay, Ulysses.
What?
You got that kind of money?
If we count the gems, we do.
Big gems?
If they're good gems, sure, I'll take them.
But also, that will leave us with 4 gold as a group.
You can make more.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm gonna say, who would be taking this cloak and this ring?
You
For
and
one.
Lark.
Okay. How much armor do you have, Dane? After you would
he-
get your splint, how much would you have?
With his splint, he would have 20 AC.
20 AC. Okay. If one of them is going to me, I'd much prefer a magic weapon instead.
So it's
If he
gonna
has-
be.
Would something of protection be up your alley?
Huh?
Lark, I'm asking Lark, did she need
Uh,
a protection thing?
She's at 18. I mean,
Yeah, let's get you protection. We'll get you a cloak. And then,
alright.
mate, in your mind, we only need the cloak. You got any magic weapons instead of the ring?
What kind of weapons are you looking for?
Great sword.
Great sword. Great sword. Great sword. I have 2. I have this one. Kind of like reaches over for a bit, pulls on a great sword. It's not particularly potent, but will light your way in dark areas. It's a radiant greatsword he puts down on the table. It's a beautiful greatsword, double wide handle, so it's a bit thicker of a grip. But the thing is that it's balanced well by a thick pommel, so it's like it's an extra long handle. Got a great cross guard on it. Looks very ornate, and the blade actually has serrations at the very top that seem to be designed to inflict a lot of wounding. Besides that one, I've got a bit more potent one over here. And then he goes over to the other side and grabs a simple looking greatsword this time. Right? Kind of similar to what you would have, except it seems to have these kind of glowing sort of yellow runes going down the center, the fuller of the greatsword. This one's a bit more potent in battle. That one's a bit more utilitarian. The more potent one would set you back about 1,000. That one would set you back about 500.
Do any of us need light in dark areas? Do all of us have
He's got dark vision. I love dark vision, so. Oh, wait, no, does Lark have dark vision?
I don't think changelings do, no.
I think changelings do. No.
Hold on, let me look.
By the way, what it is, it's a radiant weapon. I'm just putting that out there.
So it shines light, yeah.
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 I'm just putting that out there.
We are also going to the end there.
Radiant weapon? It shines light, right?
Shines light, I believe. One second. Let me just double check it before I say anything that is wrong. Okay, it's what it is that it is +1 bonus to magic, shines light 30-foot radius, and dim light for an extra 30 foot. It has 4 charge. Yeah, it's a +1 weapon. Radiant weapon is a +1 weapon, and when you get hit by an attack, as a reaction, you can blind the attacker, unless they succeed on a con save against your spell save.
How much is that?
That is 500.
And how much is the cloak?
The cloak. The cloak, he said, was 600. The ring was originally 700. The +1, the radiant greatsword is 500, and the +2 greatsword is 1,000.
If we get the sword and the cloak, we'll have we can afford that,
Yeah, we can.
We'd have about
and it still gives a little bit of breathing room in
104.
terms of having food for
Yeah.
money for
Also,
food and drink.
I don't know if it's just D&D Beyond. I don't think D&D Beyond has the rate, at least not.
Have a
I
rate
can't find
yet?
No,
Don't.
I will add it to you. Don't worry.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
look at Lark. Do you need that cloak, or do you want something else?
I'll take the cloak.
That's smart. All right, mate. I'll take the cloak and the greatsword, radiant one.
All right then. In that case, that will be a total of 1,100.
With the money.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to take that out.
All right. Yeah. Go.
So,
take
Dane's
a few
moving-
moments to manage the currency amongst yourselves,
Yeah.
and I'm going to add that item to yours.
So Dane's removing 450 gold.
I'm just gonna say, let's just have it evenly. Everybody just end with 18 gold in your inventory.
Lark, add
Everyone has
a
18.
cloak of protection to yourself.
Nice.
Your AC is 19 now.
Let me see. Boop.
Remember to attune to it as well.
Yes.
Oh, and that removing that, all of us only having 18 gold left. That's also including the full price of the armors.
Yeah, that's 19.
Perfect. So you've got 19. Dane's got 20. Lissy is got what, 16?
Yeah.
You have now a +1 weapon.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's good.
I will add that to you in just a second. I don't know why you don't have access to the.
I don't know why I do.
Eberron content is. What is non-core D&D content? I'm gonna.
I don't know. That got added recently. I have no clue what it means.
One
No
second.
idea.
This is Eberron content, so let me try it one more time really quickly.
Oh, that's fine.
Don't change anything on your character sheet for a second.
I'm not even on it right now. I mean, it's opened on a page, but I'm not on that tab.
What is this? Oh, never mind.
Rapier.
I'm sorry.
Alright,
I
you know
just
what?
noticed at the bottom of my character sheet under other possessions. I was like, what is that? It's fine. It's just a noble thing.
Is the scroll of pedigree.
Yep.
Does that tell you how often I play people with noble backgrounds?
A little bit.
A bit.
We bet.
Q R R R.
We should go do some gambling.
What?
We should go do some gambling and make money.
I rolled 20 d20, and 5 of those 20s were 1s.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, wait,
20th.
what? Sorry, I'm reading my stuff. Wait, I didn't realize the point of protections.
I mean, I got... Hold on, I got some stupid things in my inventory too.
My
Investment
saving throws are ridiculous.
Your saving throws? Yeah. Well, technically speaking...
Paladins.
Yeah.
No, but now even more so because the cloak of protection gives a +1.
Hey, so you have a plus
Alright.
4 to all your saves now, shouldn't you?
I have +6 to all my saves.
That's
Alright.
right, because you have, like, what, 8 in charisma?
No, my charisma I have a +14 to any save.
Damn.
So Chris, for now, just add a +1 greatsword to yourself, and I will figure out what to do about the
Fix that.
radiant greatsword. All the radiant weapons are missing for whatever reason from D&D Beyond.
Oh,
Not sure why.
wait, how much gold did we have? 17 or 7?
18.
17. 18,
Oh.
actually.
18. Cool.
18 per person.
I'll add
That's good
one
enough, 'cause-
more.
That'll keep us fed, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. Is the tower
That's-
not feeding us?
I mean, the tower's feeding you for as long as you're here, but
Fair enough.
But, like, essentially, when we're out in the we do need a little bit of survival money.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's everyone is now a bit more decked out, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Or this-
hey, at least one of us is still technically a noble. So,
You know what?
so over the next few days
Oh,
until you
it's
get
like you.
armor,
Once we get to our destination, it'll be your time to shine.
fuck no. I'm not telling anyone who I am.
Hope you haven't lost that noble's attitude of yours.
Lark will bring up. She does speak Undercommon. Over
Very
the-
useful.
Yeah.
I was more referring to when we get to our destination. Well, on the journey, you'll be very useful, Lark.
Yeah.
well, on the next few days, while you guys are waiting for your armor to be completed, nothing really happens. Would you guys like to do anything?
I need like. Lark will at least spend one night in the tavern trying to get more money.
Okay. You're going to gamble?
Yeah.
What kind of game are you going to choose as the outlet of your gambling?
Lark will play cards.
Are you going to cheat?
Good question. Not at the start. And if she can make money without cheating, she won't cheat. But if she can't, she might cheat later.
Okay.
She might try the next night and come and cheat.
Fair enough.
For the first night, she'll just try.
You've come to this tavern. You've got a flag and a veil in front of you. Managed to find a few sprightly old gentlemen who seem to have a bit more money than they do have time left in this world, and they seem to be willing to risk it in exchange for a quick game of cards. Sit down with them, and as you're about to draw, the universe offers a question log. How lucky are you? Roll a flat D100.
100, okay.
Contested by the DM.
91.
Jesus Christ.
91.
Roll a d20.
Okay.
Eddie,
18.
did you?
18. Okay. You, with this 91 roll, you pull your cards, look at them, glance at them, look back at the table. You're like, wait, was that right? Glance at your cards again, and you seem to have drawn an excellent hand. Not perfect, but very, very close. Playing your cards correctly, in this first bout of whatever game it is that you're playing, you manage to win 18 gold pieces.
Okay.
The companions at your table seem impressed, your luck, and wish to go for another round. Would you like to?
Sure, but she's not gonna like up the betting or anything. Whatever she was
Well,
betting,
that
she'll keep
is-
it.
That is fair for now, but you get the feeling they're probably going to want to increase the odds at some point.
Yeah.
Roll a d100.
Okay. 89.
Okay. Roll a d4.
4. Okay. Oh, what the hell is that? A 3.
Draw your cards. They're very good again. Not quite as good as they were previously, but still quite good. Just as you think victory is in your grasp, one of the seasoned veterans from across the table reveals a hand that is just marginally better than yours. You lose 3 gold.
Okay.
They wish to go again. Do you?
Lark will stop for tonight.
A flagon of ale is handed to you from the barkeep. One of the people that was watching you seems to have admired your luck and your tenacity in sitting through that last hand, even though you did lose by a small margin. And words are exchanged, handshakes are had. Even in this gloom time, it appears that people still enjoy the solace of a game of chance. It is communicated that there are those that would appreciate your return on the morrow.
Great.
Anybody else would like to do anything?
I think Dane is going to head back just to his room. He's going to spend the next couple hours praying and doing some religious ceremonies to Ilnaville. He is essentially just praying for guidance and for luck on their journey to come.
Roll a worship check. Also, by the way, this isn't just on this one day when you guys went to go get your armor's commission. This is over the next week-ish, effectively, while waiting for your armor to be done.
Yeah, so Dane will eat and he will take care of himself, but most of the time is spent essentially taking care of his weapons, making sure they're ready for battle. If they require repair, he will attempt to do that to the best of his ability. And then everything, the rest of his time is spent worshipping Ilnaville, looking for guidance and
Or was a worship check?
maybe a sign or something of the such. What was worship check again?
Charisma proficiency.
Is my proficiency.
Yeah. If you're a religious class, it's proficiency. If you're a non-religious class, no proficiency.
So that would be 16. No. 19 with proficiency.
You feel blessed. You gain inspiration.
Hey.
You get inspiration on the 3rd day. It's up to you whether or not you want to use it on this day or not. In the meantime, on this 3rd day, Locke, you are heading back to this tavern, as you said. Ulysses, is there anything you want to do during this week?
Out there for a second. What you there?
Say what again?
I cut out there for a minute.
Didn't hear you.
No.
He's gone. He's
I
back.
know. Yeah.
Is he back
What?
up?
Good?
Hello?
Hey, we can hear
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Jesus Christ, that was scary.
you. Mhm.
I'm just assuming you asked me what I was going to be doing this week.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wander around town, see what there is. Just around town, seaside, new area.
It seems like it would be a much better place to be sightseeing when they aren't under imminent threat of war with a hostile nation's army on their doorstep. The people seem kind. They seem motivated to work and industrious, to say the least. It's a nice place. Find yourself wishing you could have seen it in better times. So, Lark, you return to your tavern this night. Are you going to cheat?
Yes, but also Lark is not Lark. Lark is Ulysses.
Oh, here too.
I like it. So, you Lark. You Lark, Ulysses Lark. You Lark,
Yes.
As you sit down here, see people kind of speaking around, wondering what happened to the platinum blonde that was in here just the day before. See another newcomer say, well, I mean, if we couldn't have, it's nice to have this newcomer. Yeah, seem a little green around the edges. You wanna go for a round of cards?
Yeah.
Roll a performance check.
Okay. Can I roll deception?
Sure, sure. Reception's fine.
Cool. That is a, what is that? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough. People buy that you are in fact somebody else and Ulysses, and nobody notices any stray mannerisms that might identify you as Lark. So, as you cheat, I would like you to roll a sleight of hand check.
Okay. That is an 18.
18. You gain 18 to all of your D100 rolls. So your D100 rolls plus 18. So roll me a D100.
Okay. 1 second. Let me do a quick math. 94.
94.
I rolled a 76.
Okay. So, the cards are dealt, and while the dealer is shuffling the cards, just barely make out the bottom of a couple of them, and you spot a few high-value cards that you would like in your hand. You watch where these cards land in this deck, and as he puts down the deck, you, being the newcomer, well, as far as they know, are offered the first pick of your hand. You reach out, you grab the top 3 cards, and then with your thumb, you slowly rake the bottom of the deck that is in front of you, and with nobody the wiser, pinching the card between your thumb's nail and flesh itself, you pull out the top 3 cards and the card that you so wish in such a smooth motion that the deck is left undisturbed, and in your hands you have 4 cards and what you consider the most perfect hand you've ever seen in this game. You roll a d20.
Okay. That's a 9.
9. You gain 9 gold from this interaction.
Okay.
Would you like to play another round?
Yeah.
The odds have increased. It's d20 times 2 for a gain or loss. Alright, roll a d100 plus 18.
Yep.
Actually, hold on. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Oh,
For
okay.
your second time you're cheating.
That is a 16.
Okay, so d100 plus 16.
Okay. I roll. Calculator, because I'm bad at. Okay, 80.
80, okay.
Yeah.
Close, but no dice. Alright, so you get a fairly good hand, not quite as god tier as the one that you got before. This time, again, slipping one of the cards that you noticed were good into your hand before anybody notices. And you do actually win, however, you win by a margin that is significantly smaller than it was previously. Roll a d6 and then multiply by 2.
Okay. So it's 6. I rolled a 3.
Okay, we rolled a 3 multiplied by 2, 6, so you win 6 gold.
Okay.
The patrons at the table, seeing a winning streak, seem frustrated. One person puts on a small stack of coins on the table. 4 times the odds. 1 more round. Let's go, lad.
Alright, 1 more round.
1 more round. Roll a sleight of hand check. Are you going to cheat, actually?
Yeah.
Alright, sleight of hand check.
Nat 20. So 22.
Add 22 to your D100 roll.
Great. 22 to the D100 roll. Over 100.
Ooh.
106.
Okay. You reach out, you see the most valuable card in the entire deck this time as the dealer is shuffling. And as he shuffles, you find it, you see where it's going in the deck, and you reach out of your hand. Again, you grab the top 3 cards, and with a beautiful flourish that almost you yourself don't even see you grab this card, you manage to grab the high value card and the 3 cards off the top of the deck. And you immediately realize you might have made a grave mistake, because now in your hand you have the absolute perfect hand, and people are undoubtedly going to ask questions when you play this hand.
Oh yeah.
What would you like to do?
I mean, Lark's gonna play it.
Okay, roll me a d20.
A D20, you said? Sorry.
D20
Okay.
times 4.
Times 4. What's this? 32.
32. You, having destroyed everybody at this table, sweep all of the coin on it, and you gain a staggering victory of 32 gold. However, the allegations immediately come. He's got to be cheating. I've never seen that hand before. It's not possible.
Just
Do you
lucky.
respond?
Just lucky, I guess.
Nobody's that lucky. Somebody must have seen her. It was him. Somebody must have seen him. I mean, where the hell did this blonde guy come from anyway? What's your name?
Ulysses.
Well, remember you. Let's roll a persuasion check. Are you trying to persuade them that you didn't cheat, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, roll
By
a
the way, you
persuasion
can't
check.
see it, but I am flipping you off right now, Lark.
There's an intense smile.
That's a dirty 20 on persuasion.
Okay. Nobody's that lucky. Nobody's that lucky. Ah, fuck you, Ulysses. Fuck you, Ulysses. Fuck Ulysses. Fuck Ulysses. Fuck Ulysses. Fuck. And as you're leaving the tavern, you see that erupt into a chant of "Fuck Ulysses. Fuck Ulysses."
Lark is loving it.
Over the next
Trying
couple
real
of
hard
days,
to pretend he's not.
over the next couple of days, a legend forms of the blonde-haired elf called Lysis, and how he managed to swindle an entire tavern dry of all their coin in a card game with the most ridiculous luck ever. And forevermore, in the city of Chechers, there will be a chant in taverns whenever someone has a ridiculously good hand, and the chant is "Fuck you, Ulysses! Fuck you, Ulysses!"
Question. Would this have spread by the next day completely?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Lark's plan was to then take Ulysses to the tavern the next night to watch chaos unfold. But if he would realize it by that point, then no.
No, Ulysses would probably like the next day, right? During the day, you'd be walking around the street, Ulysses, and then like some random guy is gonna come up to you, pat you on the back, like, "Ah, well done yesterday, yeah, you've got the devil's luck, boy." Walk away, and I'll say, "Fuck you, Ulysses." And walks away.
have to roll something for myself because I guarantee you this is not the first time Lark has done this.
Probably.
Oh no. Absolutely not.
I'm gonna roll insight for Ulysses just to see what he gets.
I'll
That's a
say
3.
DC. Oh yeah, no, you fail. You're like, what the fuck just happened? You go up to a shop to like get a fruit, and it's like, oh, I heard you're just very lucky. Can you kiss my son?
Sure.
All right, you here's a son. Thank you, Lysis.
Okay, that's weird.
Hey,
Oh, no.
that's that blonde fuck. That's Lysis. That's Lysis, everybody.
The blonde fuck.
Dana will love it just as much as Lark.
This is the point where I love the fact that I added into flavor that Ulysses has oddly long ears for a half elf.
Yeah.
Because people kind of just think I'm an elf at this point.
I would love if like Lark would come up to say, "Dang, you gotta come out with us and Ulysses for some drinks." It's like, no, I'm praying to Ilnaville. It's important. No, you're gonna want to come with us to get some drinks.
No.
Around
The
this
next
point.
night, Lark is 100% taking both of them drinking. Just
Okay,
this.
fair enough.
Funny.
Now, just really quickly, Ulysses, while you're done like out in the town and you're heading back to the tower, suddenly in front of you, you're stopped by this massive hulking Goliath guy. Seems to be wearing a kind of nice tunic and like long pants. Stands in front of you. His chest is like at your eye level. He looks down at you and goes, "So you are Lysis. I hear you think you're some kind of lucky."
I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, you don't know who I am? Ah, that's fine. That's real fine. Why don't
Literally
you...
shown up to town like 3 days ago. No, I don't know who anyone here is.
Well, you've robbed me, townsman, blind. Your luck, so I want to see just how good your luck is for myself. So why don't you, this fine night, mosey on over to my pub. It's over in the east quadrant. Just look for the red flag. Come to the red flag, drink, be merry, and I'd love to see that luck of yours in action. We'll see if you show up. And you see, leans over into your blondie and walks away.
It's like home.
You're free to
Time to go.
return to the tower now, Ulysses.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like that was more than enough hints as to some shit
Yeah.
happening.
Fair enough, yeah. You get the feeling something happened with your face and your name, and it's not hard for you to put two and two together.
When I show up to the tower, is Lark there?
Yeah, Lark's there.
yeah, Lark's hanging.
Hey, Lark.
Yeah?
The fuck?
What you talking about?
Apparently, I'm very lucky at gambling, despite never having gone gambling in this town.
Oh, yeah, that. Well, I might have cheated on a few games and might have won them. I might have used your identity.
Is Dane here?
Yeah, Dane's here.
Oh, he's laughing so hard, but he's doing is the kind of thing where he's not making it audible. It's just he's silent laughing, like old man chuckling.
Come on, Yule.
Like
It's
that.
only the fourth time this has happened.
Well, about 3 things happened. I think, unless I'm forgetting something. I got asked to kiss a child.
Alright.
Somebody called me Lysis. And they said, fuck you, to me. And then a really big dude told me to come to his bar to gamble there, kind of threateningly.
Sounds like we have a plan for tonight.
Oh,
Dane, you want to
you
go?
know we do. Oh, I would not miss this for the world.
How many days has it been now?
This is day 4.
Yeah.
Shit.
Why don't we release another day? Yeah, we're going drinking.
You're going drinking? Alright.
Of course.
I mean, why not, right? So,
Yeah.
as this day comes to a close, evening comes, you guys are like, you know what, it's about time. It's fairly easy to find the Eastern Quadrant, and now in nighttime, a lot more people recognize Ulysses. A couple people recognize Lark, but a lot of people recognize Ulysses. So you're, hey, that's Ulysses! Hey, it's that lucky elf guy. Hey, I heard if you bite his ears, all lucky for you. You see a couple like kids on the side, like just walking. Like one of them like, go bite his ear. Go bite his ear. I'm not gonna bite his ear. You go bite his ear. And like, this is a small town, and it was a powder keg of anxiety. And like, just this one small folk story seems to have spread like wildfire, and the town is eating it up. Anything for a small bit of entertainment.
Lark leans over to Dane. I bet that someone will bite his ear. But someone will get drunk enough to do it.
No one dares at this point, especially not out in the street when people are not quite that drunk. But eventually, in
on
the
the
Eastern
street.
Quadrant, you do come to an establishment that has a large red flagpole and a red flag flying from it. And hustle and bustle sound from inside. In contrast to the rest of the town and the rest of the city, where people seem to be gloomy except for on the taverns at night, this one establishment seems fine, seems energetic even. You step in, greeted by warm air, warm aromas of all kinds of food, smells of the sweetest wines and ales. And from across the way, a large Goliath turns, "Ah, Ulysses, your king!" walks over.
I say also real quick.
Uh-huh.
Before we would have entered the tavern, like partway there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have cast Enhance Ability on myself. Cat's Grace. I have advantage on all dexterity checks.
Done. Done.
You smart bastard.
So he walks over.
The smartest out of all of us.
Ulysses, excellent, excellent. Now I get to see if you're really that lucky, yeah? Well, I have a table prepared for you. These your friends.
Yes.
That's generous.
Nice to meet all of you. Weird fucking bunch. Well, anyway, I don't give a fuck. Table's over there. I gave you the, it kind of winks at you, VIP treatment. You see, the lucky Ulysses coming here is kind of a point of, marketing. Hope you don't mind the intimidation out in the square. It's purely just to get people talking, you know? Purely to get people spreading word about maybe Ulysses showing up with a red flag. Worked perfectly. Whatever you win or lose, I'll pay you a little bit just for showing your face here. If you show your face a couple more times, I'll pay you for that too. It's all good for business, yeah? I'll see you at your table. Walks away. He's a businessman, can I say?
When he walks away,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give a Lark a death stare.
And
Lark's
with-
gonna change her eyes to match identical to yours.
And with that, as you guys are approaching your VIP table and you see a murmur begins to spread amongst the crowd as everybody has their eyes on this blonde half-elf, that's where we're going to end today's session, or we'll pick it up next week.
Cool.
Keep in mind that I have advantage on dex checks for the next hour.
Write it down.
So, yeah, make sure you write it down that you got Cat's Grace. I mean, I always rewatch the session before the next session anyway, so I'll probably remind you at the start of next session. But anyway, those who have been around since the start, thank you for watching. Someone jumped in right at the end there. This will go up on YouTube, so don't worry, you can watch it there. Big sad. Yeah, I feel you, buddy. It's all good. Anyway, we're gonna end the session here. We've been going on for a while, about like 3 hours plus. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll see you around next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.